What's up, YouTube? I'm here at the shop today, and I figured I might as well do a toolbox tour. I work at Christian Brothers Automotive. I've been working 38 months now. I have no ASCs, no trade school, and I just want to do a toolbox tour. So I learned in the trenches, so all my tools are going to be very dirty. So when it comes to my sockets, they're mainly Sunex. So what you're seeing here are Sunex metric deep 1/2 inch. Sunex metric swivel 1/2 inch. I got Sunex metric shallow 1/2 inch. This is a Matco set, but mid-depth Matcos, but some are missing and some were just replaced. Some more Sunex 3/8, Sunex 3/8 swivel, metric short. And then I have a Cornwell master set. It has all the torques. I have the E's, triple squares, the long, deeps, hex, and the torques. I got a Sunex Master Hex set, and it came with impact torques, impact triple square. I got Allens, all kinds of Allens. These are some tap sockets. Here's grip edge Hex sockets, and I also have the. I'll go ahead and just show you. I have the grip edge Master that I got recently. There's the grip edge Master set. And the good news is I paid off all my tool debt, so I have 0 debt in tools. So here I have random sockets. These are all Sunex sockets, Sunex swivels. I use Matco ratchets because they don't get floppy like Pittsburgh does. So I got 3/8, 2/4 inches. I got a mat. This is like a Lyle disconnect tool. Alignment bar from Sunex. I have a whole master kit of these thread chasers. I just used these recently. I got Matco picks. I have the whole 4-piece set. The other 2 are in my drawer. There's the other 2. I have the Cornwell screwdrivers. I have Dominator pry bars. This is a 5-piece set that's curved. And then I also have the Dominator straight 3-piece set here. I have some more pry bars. These are Husky flatheads, basically pry bars. And then I have these are Cornwell, they're like impact flathead pry bars, basically. And I use Matco lights. I use these lights. These are the 2 I have. I have a mirror from Cornwell. I have a Matco disconnect tool for like evap or electrical connectors. Panel trim tool, Cornwell razor blade, Matco center punch here. It's basically a Lyle, but it's branded Matco. I have brake gauges, tread depth gauges here, and it's in a spindle nut socket. Here's my Sunex 1/4 inch metric, and then I have the SAE here, which I only use the 1/4 inch, and I don't care too much about the other SAE sockets. I only use that 1/4 inch socket. I have the Matco oversized lug nut sockets. This is like a Sunex kit. The ratchet broke on me. I have yet to warranty the ratchet. I have a cheap swivel set here that I use like electrical tape to kind of make it more stiff. I keep my reducers here. This is a neat tool. It came out of that Sunex kit, but you can put bits in there. I like using that. Here's CTA hammer nuts, so you can get tie rods, things of that nature. Sometimes you'll have the size, sometimes you won't. Matco sells a bigger set. On this side, I have a bunch of Matco panel trim tools here. Here's a long one. I have a snap-on straight. It's straight, so that's unique. Panel trim tool. I have some hose picks here from Cornwell. I only have 2 of those, and then I have a very excellent pry bar. It's a Matco pry bar. Then I'll keep my caliper grease and my my thread locker there. So that's kind of how I keep the top end of the box. On the sides, I have my Milwaukee 3/8, my bit, my mid torque, and then my hammer drill. And then I keep my air gun. These are some cheap thin wrenches I'll use on brake jobs. Mainly I use them for brake jobs. And then I have a Duratec ratcheting wrench set. And then a hydrometer for testing coolant, and magnetic test leads that I almost never use. And I almost missed this. I have the big boy Matco 1/2 inch. I'll use that for cylinder heads, stuff like that. On this other side of my US General, I have some Sunex. These are like 45-degree offsets. And then down here I have some Horsity long wrenches. That's what I keep there. So top drawer is I put my wrenches in here. So I have a Sunex set. It goes from 8 to 32, and these are Ernst wrench organizers. These are some old Craftsman wrenches I'll have in here. They're kind of like some duplicates. I have a Duratec. This is like a 90, just about a 90-degree offset wrenches. I have a wrench extender. I have some miscellaneous ratcheting wrenches in here. Here's a Cornwell adjustable, and I'll usually use this on like a tie rod to bust it loose, and you can hit it with a hammer, and it's more comfortable to use in your hands. Big adjustable. I just learned recently these flare nut wrenches from Matco, they're actually Mueller caps, so you can save some money and just buy Mueller caps. And then here I have some more adjustables and random ratcheting wrenches. So that's basically my wrenches. So I'll keep them here and then on the sides like you saw. Next drawer, I'll tend to throw my ratchets in here. So this is an Ernst organizer. This is also an Ernst organizer. So in here, I was running out of room, so I have these Astro half-size sockets. So they're actually like half sizes. So that's 17.5. It goes like 9.5 all the way up to 19.5 in 3/8. So that comes in handy every now and then. You know, I keep my extensions in here. Really, this is just a mix of Sunex, random Pittsburgh, random no-name Chinese extensions. Have a Matco little baby ratchet I like for dash work. Here's a 3/8 Matco. This is an old Stanley, which works pretty good. And then I have another Matco. I bought this to replace the one in my Sunex kit that broke. But I tend to keep it here. But that's generally how I organize that. And then here I generally keep my ratchets. So I have a Milwaukee high speed 3/8, a Milwaukee 1/4 inch. So I torque a lot of most of my fasteners. I torque a lot of fasteners. So I have a Matco digital 1/4 inch, and it's super nice. So if you're doing like an oil cooler, you can program in the oil cooler torque spec. You can program in the look, I'll show you. So you can program in like the oil cooler, the lower intake, the upper intake. You can program in the valve covers, and once you program in them, you can just go through the job and just quickly switch your torque specs. So there's no reason not to torque fasteners, in my opinion. If you own that, it's real easy. This is a DeWalt 1/2 inch. It has a lot of torque. This Capri is the reason why I bought the big Matco one, was because my first one hit the floor and it exploded, and it was worthless after like I just bought it. So I bought the big Matco. Okay, I need a re-zero, but I have Cornwell torque wrenches. This is a 3/8. It's like goes up to 250 inch-pound. This one's another 3/8 flex Cornwell. It goes up to 100 foot-pounds. This is my least used torque wrench, My most used is probably this one at the moment. Then my second most used now is this. Here I have some Cornwall picks. The 90 just got bent up so much I probably lost it, and I don't even mind because these are horrible picks from Cornwall. I really recommend the Matcos. They're much thicker, and I haven't had one bend yet, so I just keep random stuff in here. This is a on-car to measure brake pads, basically without pulling the wheel. I use this to plug transmission lines. These are feeler gauges for valve adjustments. Micrometer that's actually real accurate and real affordable. Brake fluid tester. I keep picks, mini pry bars. This is from Mayhew. It broke. I don't know about warranty. These are for BMW spark plugs. I think it was like $5, so that was a really good investment. Stretch belt tools here. That's a Lyle, GM. These plastic ones don't work very well. The installer broke on me, so that's why I have the Lyle. Some more reducers, scrapers, more feeler gauges. These are like plugs I'll use sometimes. O2 thread chaser, and some knickknacks. Like, this is like my little knickknack drawer, but mainly I come in here for extensions and my torque wrench or something like that, or my electric ratchets. Next drawer is my plier drawer. It's real messy. I have some organizers from Ernst. I highly recommend them, but here there's some cool stuff. I have a bunch of Sun-X that I started out with. I have the long Sun-X. I even have a Cornwall in here because I thought I lost my 45-degree Sun-X. So I got a Cornwall, then I found it, so now I have two of these. You know, typical radiator clamp pliers. These are some cool pliers from Lyle. So these are some hose clamp pliers. I have the 45 and straight clamp pliers. I also have this one here. This is like a smaller one. This is from Matco. This is the same as the hose clamp pliers, but it's more like for evap stuff or electrical connectors. It's like flexible, like you drop a fuel tank and you get a connector off. Haven't used it yet. I just got it. This is a joke. This tool has a hammer strike. This is supposedly for radiator hoses, and it doesn't work. I think it's a gag from Matco. Like, it doesn't work. Like, yeah. This shouldn't be here. It's an alignment bar. This Sun-X alignment bar kit. Super nice. Kiwi pliers. I use it for brake bleeder screw caps. I have some scissors. Here's another Kiwi. These I use. You'll be surprised. You need like really many needle nose at times. You'll understand. So this tool, a lot of people don't know what it's for, but it's for AC disconnect tools. So it's basically for these guys. So you can get this and push it in when things are really stuck. You can push one of these in there, or even one of those. And I've used it to connect HVAC lines together. It's a super nice tool because they can get real stuck. It's a snap-on wire stripper. I found that in a car, then warrantied it and got a brand new one. And then this is these are some Cobras, Knipex. Really awesome for alignments. These are awesome for alignments too. This is I believe it's a Knipex. It's like Swedish pliers. These really grip. This is to remove exhausts, to get them off that, you know, to remove exhaust pipes. These you can use for connectors like fuel stuff, evap stuff. That's like a 40, that's a 90, and I have a 40. Yeah, I need to organize my stuff. Here's a 45 and there's a 90. Makes life a little easier disconnecting fuel filters. You know, more hose clamp stuff. These are for electrical connectors. It's not Lyle. I bought the off-brand and they work fine. These work pretty good. You know, more hose stuff. There's like a Pittsburgh just oil filter pliers. I bought these. They come in handy sometimes. And then I got some vice grips here. And that's basically like the plier setup. I know it's messy. Like, I have times where I open the drawer and I have to look a solid like 5 seconds for the pliers I'm looking for. So I need to improve that organization. Okay. This is the next drawer. So I call this the B-Tech drawer. So this is where I keep some of the more heavy stuff. So this is the best scraper you can buy. It's from Cornwell. This scraper kit, it's the best you can buy. I'm telling you, that's a money maker. This is like a Klein, just infrared thermometer, just a Klein. This is a Sunex spark plug tube socket set. Boom, spark plug sockets. So I have this, I think of it as a B-Tech drawer. These are long Mayhew bits. I keep the ones I use. It's now buried, but under that's basically the bits there. I go ahead and put these back. So I keep all kinds of cool stuff. I have my trusty 4-pound hammer, some cheap hammers, inner tie rod tool, hose clamp, or like, you know, you can cut off a brake hose if you need to. This is a specialty Nissan CV axle stake nut. Like, you remove the stake nut with it. I got it from Japan. I got it on eBay. So that's for Nissan CV axle nuts. This is also for basically Nissans when they got I think it's a steel pan on an aluminum block. They're stuck. So this is the tool to remove the oil pan. You know, brakes, caliper tool. I use, here's some hangers. I use axle nuts on crankshafts to kind of space out the crank bolt. Here's a Astro Tools slide hammer. So I use that on like C slide pins, because sometimes you'll be doing a brake job and the slide pins are seized, so you can extract it that way. These are tie rod tools, wiper arm remover from Lyle. This is a Nest kit. It's the clean external threads. Here's the bigger version. Here's a Lyle impact driver. Mainly just use number 2 Phillips, I believe. Another butterfly, I use it for brake jobs. A little brass hammer. Keep my air hammer here. These are for cam and crank seals. This is also from Matco. This is cam and crank seals. I got multiple pullers. This is to hold in the torque converter on transmissions. This is a strut spreader. Yeah, it works great on BMWs, I found. Let's see here. I have a chain wrench. This is a chain wrench. I have more alignment bars from Sunex. Carbide scraper. It's a Titan brand. It works okay. There's another Titan brand, and I use it to remove like a diff cover off, you know, get the diff off. And then I have some gear wrench adjustable pry bars. Lyle seal puller, stud remover from Lyle. I'm really big on Lyle, Sunex, and Amazon brand stuff. I will actually organize this later, but you can tell, you can kind of get the gist. I'm kind of in the trenches all day, every day. I don't know what I'm going to work on here because we're in the aftermarket. I could work on a Mercedes, a BMW, a truck, a diesel, I don't know. So that's why I have this cart set up. I roll this cart around the shop. I don't know what I'm going to work on day to day. So here is more like special stuff that I don't really use that often, but I just roll around with it. I have some long Cornwell flatheads. This is a Mac, you know, disconnect set. I keep some Orion MotorTech flexible wrenches, and they work okay. I have E wrenches here. I don't even know the brand. It says Germany on it. These are some Sunex flare nut wrenches, and I keep some trim tools here. This is a Vim, so this is for the Euros right here. So this is a Vim stubby 1/4 inch set, and that's for your Europeans. I would probably say it is a must-have, this set, if you want to work on Euros. Here's a specialty. This is an inverted torque set. So, inverted torque. So, This is when you have to get onto a Torx fastener at an angle. It's a ball Torx. I said inverted Torx. It's a ball Torx. Very specialty, my opinion. You'll be surprised. You may need that. This is a Vim half cut set. My wrench and I believe my my 25. It's up here. Cause I use that pretty often, so I just have it up there. So my organization is more like in the trenches. I'm in the battlefield. I just kind of roll up to a car, and I try to have as much as I can on my cart. This is like for, oh, this is for drive belts. This is from Gear Wrench. And then I just knocked this over, but down here, that's the molding for my Matco trim tools. So I have my trim tools up here, you know. But I'm just kind of pulling everything out, just to kind of do a quick tour, and then this is like to get like a bolt or your socket bag or something that's non-magnetic. You can get it. It's like flexible. Just some Amazon buy. I have a Launch CR308 here, a Rex Betty. It's actually worked really well, surprisingly. You know, just an extractor here. It's worked very well. This is probably a must-have for if you're working on brake systems. It's a Matco thread restorer for just brake lines, ABS modules, things of that nature. It's a brake line, brake cylinder rethread kit. It's a good tool to have to work on brakes. So here is a Gear Wrench pass-through set, and I use this like sway bar links. Think of like a BMW sway bar link that probably costs like $170 for the link set, maybe each, and you want to install it properly so that's a pass-through so you don't damage the nice expensive European sway bars. And you can use it for other stuff. And then down here is where I keep supplies on my impact. So I have gloves, I have some rope, I have a big C-clamp. Here's my die grinder kit. I use this all the time. It's my Milwaukee 90, my straight. I have carbide in here. This is to clean hubs, doing brake jobs if they're super rusty, prevent lateral run out. I got this from a Snap-on truck. It's like a wire brush. It's like Blue Point. When I clean aluminum, I use the 3M 120 Rolox because I saw like Ford will let you do that on like preparing a block for cylinder heads, like a head gasket replacement, and Ford will let you use a white Rolox. So I've just kind of carried that over to a lot of engines that have aluminum alloy blocks. So, and Scotch-Brite, a whole case of Scotch-Brite for me. And I have a Blue Point oil filter, wrenches, tire pressure gauge. I have an old King Bolin tool from when I was a lube tech. I still am kind of a lube tech, but I'm more like a C tech and a low-level B tech at this point in my job. I'm not even calling it a career. It's more like a job. And then I have AC tape I'll use I'll put this on my socket and put the bolt in there, and my AC tape is because I don't have magnetic sockets. So like that's kind of like my in the trenches cart. Then this is my 56-inch box. So all this stuff's mine. So I have that, and then I have this 56-inch. I got this from SunX. This cart is technically mine. It was the shop owners who lent it to me, and I've been using it ever since I started working here. I have a SunX roll table. I just use it for everything. My computer, sometimes I'll put, cams and all the engine stuff there. I'll use this for like parts. Here's my Pittsburgh jack, piece of wood, rags, for coolant. That's my Matco creeper. That SunX thing over there, that SunX stool is mine as well. So up top, I kind of keep. So that's my Camelback. I'll use it for water. I have a J&C jump starter, AES wave, breakout kit. because you know, you want to check circuits. That's the best way to do it. I have a 3M respirator that I need to replace because it's just been through the trenches. I highly recommend them because they protect from grinding and stuff. And then basically I need to replace this one. All the seals kind of blew out on it. It's all wore out. Got some gloves, hearing protection, gloves. Cornwell, that's my goat from Cornwell. I call him Goat TA. That's a U-Scope master kit with all the inductive pickups and stuff. I don't use this. I'm more like a C-Tech, B-Tech. I bought this. Honestly, if I got fed up and left the trade, I'd at least have a single channel oscilloscope, and I'd at least have the lead kit to work on my own cars. Like, it's a really cool thing to take with you. So here I have a bunch of stuff. This is like overflow. So this is the top drawer. So I got more sockets. These are all mostly Sun-X. Axle nut. This is for Pro Masters on Dodge Pro. Oh, it's a Sun-X, but it's for Pro Masters. Basically, you work on the suspension, you need a 1/2" Allen. The rest of my Sun-X set that I don't use. Some of my Cornwell set that I don't use really. More swivels I don't use. Long Allens. I just keep them here. Seems like I've used some of them. A lot of these sockets I use, it's just I can't carry everything in my little roll cart. So, oh yeah, this is my Matco Digital 1/2" flex head. I use that for head gaskets and torque and lug nuts. I mean, mainly head gaskets, but I'll use it for suspension, all kinds. Here's a Cornwell 1/2" that I almost never use because you have to. It's a click twist. I have to twist the handle. This is much nicer. I can just press buttons instead of twisting the handle. To torque some lugs, you know, some, you know, like spline. You know, this is Craftsman, just random 12 points here. I got more shallow Sun-X metrics here. More Craftsman 12 points, like in 3/8. Highly recommend the Ulsa extractor wrench. So these are for like, so you're tasked to replace a drive belt and then the tensioner is stripped. You can use this and get the job done, or even just loosen bolts. I mean, this thing is well worth it. So here's some Billy tools. These are for struts, basically. It's like a strut tool. Like you go to replace struts. I don't have a lot of faith in it because it's a cheap Chinese one, but basically, if you're replacing a strut, it has all kinds of tools to kind of help you deal with that. You know, all these tools. I bought it because I thought it'd be nice to have. Haven't used it yet, but I have it. And like I showed y'all earlier, this is the Grip Edge Master Set. Bunch of E's, stripped Torx, stripped hex, long strip stuff. I mean, it's in here. I mean, yeah, I have it. For European stuff. This is a gear wrench oxygen socket set. This is you can get from AutoZone. This is like if they have like custom rims, you know, this has like a lot of the generic sockets to get the rims off. That's a 3/4 46mm for ProMaster CV axles. Have an extra, you know, specialty rim socket stuff. This is to fabricate battery cables. This is a neat tool. This is from Lyle. This is to install Honda spark plug tube seals. That's a GMLS balancer puller. So I think there's like 3 styles of pullers, and I have all the styles of puller. There's a GMLS flywheel holder. Some random. This was for my cart. Or my box for the handles, but they're whatever. It's just spare parts for my box. There's a pressure tester adapter, but I don't use it because I have another kit. This is for like alignments. It's an angle gauge. We don't really do that here. I guess that's more like a dealership kind of stuff. And that's basically the top drawer here. So down here, yeah, this box is basically just kind of storage. It's not really the most efficient, Don't ever buy these as plastic riveters. This one, the plastic's jammed in it and it's worthless. This is a timing toolkit for Pentastar that I didn't need to buy, but I have one. But our shop usually will buy timing kits, so I have one. That's my own. This is for park and brake cables. Yeah, I've never done a cab off on a Ford, but like, if that's something you want to get into, you can. That's for the cables at least. I buy these, so if I'm working on cars, I kind of want to replace them. It's kind of terrible if you damage these on the car. I kind of feel like I want to replace the critical ones, so I buy this with my money. This is a strange tool. This is for 3/16 brake line, and this is a straighten it. If you get a coil of copper nickel brake line, you can straighten the coil out. This is the deburr brake line, and this is the bend brake line. This is a brake reset tool to adjust drum brakes. You kind of measure the inside of the drum, and you can match up the shoes to it, get it pretty dang close, pretty damn fast, like faster than you would. I have some real cheap, I guess, like spanner, lock ring pliers, I guess. Very cheap. I need to invest in better ones. Some more cheap pliers. I don't like these. This is from Sunex. The Milwaukee channel locks are good. But like, these are tools I kind of don't use because I have all the nice, I got nice Knipex now, and I have other options now. So that's the case for my 1/4 inch digital. And I just use it so much, I just kind of keep it in the roll cart now. This is for when you're doing like timing belts. This is for like more Asian vehicles. But yeah, it's from Cornwell. But it's a spanner, like, man, I'm having trouble opening it. But, you know, everyone knows this. It's for holding the cams, basically. If you're removing cam sprockets, doing cam seals, that's what that's for. This is a long reach balancer installer kit. Just a long reach balancer installer kit. GM, Ford, and Chrysler. There you go. That's kind of it for this drawer. I mean, there's not really any organization. I'm just kind of throwing my stuff in here at the moment. You know, there's a lot of room to grow here. Then here, got paperwork, you know, books. This is a big pry bar adjustable. I believe it's OTC brand, but I got this from Matco. This is a big pipe I use. Here's another one of those 3M 120 grit roll locks I use for aluminum blocks or whatever. Speed things up and not damage anything too badly. Okay, next drawer. This used to be the B-Tech drawer, but I kind of moved everything over into the 6 drawer. But here I got like roll locks. I got these are unions for brake line fab. There's like a hub remover. You know, it's a kit. I have some extra. This is the best Victor Rins. I can't use Permatex. This is the best sealant. I love. I really like Victor Rins. I have some needle files. Matco Hyper Steps, and then an extra first row. They don't warranty the first row, but here's the Matco Hyper Steps. They're worth the money. Just buy them, honestly. This is a Fowler brake micrometer. It's mainly for rotors. That's all it really does. And here's a really cheap beginner tap and die set that I bought, and it's worked. You know, just don't break one, but that's worked for me a couple times. More this is to hold in torque converters, GM stretch belt tool, more axle nuts to kind of space out the crank bolt, Horsity punch set, another carbide, my 90-degree. Really, I need to add, so I have a adjustable valve, but I need that swivel at the end. Blue Point air drill, which I prefer air drills to electric drills. Electric drills just use too much power. They don't get enough work done. It's real inefficient. This is for taps, basically. Tap handle. And then some little odds and ends here. Spark plug tube tap. I've never had to do that. But yeah, this is, you know, this is plasti gauge. I have some plasti gauge here. But yep, there's this drawer. Now here, okay, this is my big investment, was I bought me a Master Cool hydraulic flaring tool set. It's a really huge investment for me, but now I can fabricate brake lines if needed. So you basically make the flares with this tool, you know, deburr, straighten brake line, and you can bend them, and you can fab brake lines, keep the customer safe. Yeah, my U-scope I keep in there. I don't really use it that often. I'm not really, I don't really do diagnostics. I really am just like an R&R grease monkey at the moment. Here, oh shit. It's my little basic, it's a basic electrical kit. I got the Matco, like, electrician ammeter. I have the Matco basic kit. Oops. Okay, I left it on. Okay, cool. MD251, I have, you know, just leads, back probes, alligator clips, just basic stuff here. Just a basic electrical kit. And then I have more stuff, like this is to smoke test intake. I have Lyle, you know, mechanic stethoscope. That's a borescope, articulating. This is like test leads I made. It's like can wire. It's can wire, but it's made, well, I use it for voltage measurements. I think it was from AES Wave, but, you know, mainly just use it for voltage measurements. So, yeah, there's some more stuff. I have a couple cheap knockoff power probe. I got a real power probe in here somewhere. Yeah, there's the real power probe. I don't really use power probes. A quick ignition tester. Oh, these are Nissan. Are these the Nissan axle nuts? I'm not too sure. I think I keep them here. No, I'm not sure. Anyway, got some axle nuts. So this is for riv nuts. This is a riv nut kit. You can do a riv nut. It's like a rivet, but you know, there's like a threaded insert. You know, like a riv nut thread insert kit. So you can get real creative with that. You can fix things with that, definitely. So you can tell I'm not the cleanest on my organization here. Kind of don't need to be, but anyway. Down here, it's really cool. Really cool stuff down here. I got a spare fuse block for the fuses. It's like a GM. So this is for like trucks. It's to compress the springs on there. You kind of have to have this when you're messing around with truck coil springs. I found this in a car that got towed in. It's a Mac Tools fuel pressure gauge. Yep. I got 2 dial indicators from Cornwell. And this is a Cornwell tap and die set. I'm luckily haven't needed to use it yet, but it's a full tap and die set here. Goes up to M12. And then, I don't know, I'm sure very few people do this, but I actually went ahead. So I don't have all the tools to do it, but I got the big taps for like sub-assemblies, stuff like that. But really, in reality, you need to buy drimming drill bits. You need to buy bigger drill bits, honestly, to be mucking with that. Otherwise, you just need big drill bits. I need to invest in that. So this is like a drum. This is very heavy. Yep, it's very heavy. But that's like to remove stuck rotors and drums. Big forcing screw. It looks similar to the hub grappler, I guess, from I think it's OTC. And then this is my old brake caliper compressor, you know, the twist screw types. Yeah, you can see how heavy that is. And this is like a Harbor Freight inner tie rod tool set here. The reason I keep a license plate in here, this is to basically when I'm torching something, I'd rather use this to protect rubber hoses, things of that nature, and I'm going in there with a torch or some propane, you know. All right, so here, you know, I have a bunch of paperwork, and I charge my flashlights. I use an AutoFix D1 Lite. Amazing tool. I have a charger there. I even didn't realize I even had that. But yeah. Okay. And then down here, so so this is like a mechanic jumpsuit when I'm grinding. I have some old clothes in here, some old, but cam and crank installer. That's for the seals. Cam and crank seal installer. This is a pneumatic caliper piston winder. Haven't needed to use it yet, but it's all pneumatic. That's like a balancer, puller and installer kit. Here's another puller, mainly for GM, and it works. And make it quick. This is my my thread chaser kit. There's my thread chaser kit, and let me just quickly try to put this back. Put this back. Okay, and then I basically ran out of room. That's why I have this stuff up top, and down here, this is money right here. Fluid transfer pump. Awesome kit for transmissions. It's an awesome kit to have, I'm telling you. I have a cheap slide hammer set. It can get you through. It's a 4-pound. Most of the industry standard slide hammers, they're like 5-pound weights. This is only 4 pounds, so you get what you pay for. This tool never works. It's like a CV axle slide hammer. It's worked one time. Alright, here's some money. It's a Cornwell cooling system pressure test kit. It's basically a master cool set from what I understand. Down here I have, this is basically for wheel bearings. It's like to install wheel bearings, stuff like that. And I have a Yankee tool here. It's real popular up north. It's for stuck hubs. Okay, so this tool, you bolt onto a hub and you hit it with a hammer. I just happen to use a sledgehammer, but that's for like Subaru rear wheel bearings. That's like a Yankee tool. I'm here in Texas, so we do get them, and that's why I have it. That's kind of my tour so far, man. My stuff's pretty messed up. But yeah, I don't recommend you becoming a mechanic. I really don't. I do it. I'm basically to the point where I have $20,000 in tools, roughly. This is, trust me, it doesn't seem like a lot, but I do have roughly about 20,000. But everything's paid for, luckily. Yep. Oh, here, you know, there's all kinds of knickknacks I didn't cover. These are some cheap finger ratchets, and then I have Sonex things. But yeah, I've been getting into like brake line fab lately. I know there's not a nut in here. I was just practicing. I literally damaged the brake line, and now I invested probably like $500 into just fabricating brake lines. So these are like this is probably like my 4th attempt, but I did a bend and I did a decent bubble flare. I mean, not a bubble, it's a 45 inverted, but it's, you know, it's pretty good. Anyway, that was my quick toolbox tour. I mean, I'm pretty frustrated with the industry, but at least everything's paid off and I can just not buy any more tools. But realistically, I need a side locker and a hutch, so I might just save up my money at this point and just get me a side locker and a hutch. And then I just need to save my money, because if you try to keep buying tools, you're not gonna get anywhere. You're just gonna be poor. But anyway, this is all the stuff I've bought. Already covered. I even have, so that's like the coolant refill kit, and I have a whole new one here. You know. Anyway, that's my toolbox setup. So like I said, 38 months, no school, no ASCs, and I am flat rate, and no tool debt. Thinking of getting out of the industry, but I'm thinking about just keep working it. I'm just not going to invest in it. It's just not worth it. It really isn't. It really isn't worth it. But anyway, thank you.